Welcome to Matinee Heroes presents CastOFF. That's right, it's our second episode. The first one was recorded. This one is different because it is live. We have live human beings. That's right. So, it being May the 4th, I had to wear my Star Wars hat. So, please enjoy your May the 4th be with you day. We've got 3 contestants ready to duke it out by recasting your favorite actors in movies that you love. And let's meet our challengers. Let's see if it's going to push live for me. Go for it. It's going a little slow. Oh, there they are. Hey, guys. How are you?
What's up?
We'll start from universalremote.tv. Oh, it did it twice. What is that? Release the director's cut? I can't read that. Oh, the butthole cut. Oh, yes. From Cats.
Ooh.
Yes, release the butthole cut. Devin Pike, universalremote.tv. How are you, sir?
I am well, thank you. I am not alive. I am a meat popsicle.
Yeah, you are also a game show host now in this
correct
post-corona world.
I have to jump off of this call to host our own May the 4th Star Wars-centric episode of Universal Remote at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific. It is all live on YouTube and Twitch.
Also, another person who's been on the podcast, good buddy, Randy Yarbrough from the Cult 45 podcast, not a Donald Trump podcast.
Always with the government name. And no, it is not. It is the most non-Trump podcast ever. We literally, every episode has an inside Trump joke. Every episode.
And you don't really need one with him because he's a joke on the outside just as much as the inside.
Very much so. And it's way too, like, the joke is way up here and he's still down there in the ground floor. So, poor dumb bastard.
Well, he'll inject some sunshine and he'll be fine later, so it'll be all right.
I hope he goes first with a bleach treatment.
Yes, he does. Have you seen his eyes and his neck? Because the rest of his face is peach orange. So then we have newbie to the whole situation, Bryan Guanajuato.
Hey, you got it right the second time.
Yeah, Guanajuato. The O. I got to do the long O.
Yeah, it's all about the O, guys. Like that's what it's all about here.
But it's the much easier to say Bry Fry. Tell me about the Bry Fry podcast.
Yeah, just review comic books, pop culture, so movies right up my alley, and I'm just happy to be a part of this. I miss socialing.
Oh well, as Devin knows, who knows me quite well, I am not. I'm very happy being isolated. I'm just doing this because I'm trying to find a way to monetize. Isn't that the way we're supposed to do? We're supposed to monetize everything?
100%.
Yes. So,
and when you figure that out, let the rest of us know.
Oh, I don't even have a Venmo account. I see that on yours there, Devin. You have a Venmo going. So
I have look, if you want to send me money, I don't care how you do it. Just send
do you get
me money. I will invent a
pics?
network.
You guys can sign up for my OnlyFans account. It's
Exactly.
All right. Well, let me explain the rules real quick. What we're doing is, this is from our most popular segment of the Matinee Heroes podcast, which you can go at matineeheroes.com. What we do is we take a famous role from a beloved movie, and each of you will recast it using what I call Doctor Who rules, and that is any actor through space and time, and some of you took full advantage of that, and so I appreciate it. And if you don't know, full disclosure, each one of them submitted their answers to me in advance, but they do not know what each other's answers are, nor do they know who the winner is. So in the future, as I learn the technology, we will be going live, and hopefully you will be voting for each individual round. But until then, I will be the sole judge, jury, and executioner of the votes. Since this is a DC podcast, I had to wear my Matinee Heroes Matinee Hero Wonder Woman shirt, which you can get at our store, matineeheroes.com/store. They're only $20. Please feel free to head over there. There's a bunch of different t-shirts, matineeheroes.com/store. And if you guys are ready, we'll get going. Are you guys ready?
No, but we'll do it anyway.
All right, you guys
Let's
are
do
so...
this. Yeah!
So our movie is Batman v Superman. Not my favorite movie. It's a little bit controversial. It's not as controversial as the sequel, but it has mixed reviews. And so we'll start off with, of course, the main character, You'd think it'd be Batman, but no, it is V Superman. Victor Superman, I don't know what the V is. But we will start with Devin. Devin, who did you decide would be? I know you're turning sideways. Look at that perfect blend. Damn, you're good, Devin. This is why I get professionals. So, Devin, who did you pick as your Superman or Clark Kent?
I can't break out of this blue steel. I'm stuck in it.
Yeah, please don't do that. People think the thing's frozen.
I thought it was frozen for a second there.
All right, so with all of my recast stuff, I gave myself an added level of difficulty, and it was somebody who had not been in any Marvel or DC film, but still fit the character, which really limits you because I think the three of us have been in a Marvel film at some point. At least I was like floating in the ash. So to start with Clark Kent / Superman, I picked somebody who you could bulk up, give a nice, give a good rounded performance, and still have that meek, I'm a reporter at a paper, and papers are still existing. So I went with Nicholas Hoult, who you know from Warm Bodies, you know him from Mad Max, Thunder Road, obviously the X-Men movies, but I didn't count the X-Men as part of the DC or as part of the Marvel Universe because, as we all know, in the MCU, there are no mutants. They're just differently abled.
Yeah, and he is the about a boy. I didn't realize that until I looked him up. And yes, I think he would be a good Clark Kent, and that is the key. Is if you're a good Clark Kent, you're going to be a good Superman, because I have always believed, especially after seeing Chris Pratt turn from Andy into Star-Lord, that if you get hired to do one of these roles, they will pay. I mean, if Kumail Nanjiani can do it, so can we all.
Yeah. That Kumail Nanjiani glow up is amazing, and I can't wait to see him on screen. And the first time he gets those that Adonis belt going, and everybody loses their minds in the theater, that's going to be amazing.
Well, next we have Randy's pick. Randy, who did you decide on for Superman, Clark Kent?
So for Superman Clark Kent, I chose, because we just had a conversation on our patreon.com/Colt45. You can check out our Patreon there. We had a discussion about how to bring more black viewers into the movie theaters. And my point was they really need to focus on creating more black superheroes. So I chose for my Clark Kent, Chadwick Boseman.
That's right. He is a black superhero because he's been Black Panther, but also he's been every famous dead black person that's ever lived. He was Jackie Robinson. He was Thurgood Marshall. I think he's a great. He would be a fantastic Superman. And but how do you deal with the fact that he is already Black Panther in this situation?
Basically nana boo boo, because whatever. I'm gonna just keep throwing money at him until we get a Josh Brolin situation going on where I can just look. He's there and he's also here and he's also here. Who cares? He's Superman now.
Well, let's move on to Brian. Brian, now, he's got the curl going. Look at you.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, no, it was fine until you turned your head. It was a half curl, and then you turned your head, and all of a sudden you turned into Gary Oldman from The Fifth Element.
Yeah, but it's very emo-ish.
So who is your Superman?
He was on my list, just so you know.
So who is your Superman?
For my Superman, I decided to cast Brendan Fraser as a Superman. I mean, awesome dude, known for Encino Man. I mean, also big series, The Mummy. He's got that face where I think it would be a good balance with a Batman as a more serious character. Plus, we know he has the body. He's done it before in the past. I mean, recently, let's kind of just,
this is 1990s Brendan Fraser, because if we go with now Brendan Fraser, we're going to have to have him be two Supermen.
That's all sad, Superman. But
he did a good job in Doom Patrol, though, so it's fine.
Yeah, that's because he's in a robot. He's not in the action. It's just a voice.
That's fine.
Yes. Oh, he's a fantastic actor. So if we pluck him out of 1995, let's say.
Yeah, and he has great range. I mean, he does action, he does comedy, he does serious stuff. So I feel like he'd be a great fit for Superman. He's American. No.
Wow.
There you go.
Oh, wow. All right. Well, let's take a look at the board here and remind ourselves who we picked. Devin had Nicholas Hoult, which was a fairly decent pick. I think he'd make a great Clark Kent. He was the Beast, so as long as he doesn't turn blue, we're okay. Randy had Chadwick Boseman, and then we have Brian with Brendan Fraser. And, I'm going to have to go with Nicholas Hoult because of all of these, I really see him playing the nerdy Clark Kent, where Brendan Fraser, when he tries to be a nerdy, he's just goofy, which is different. And Chadwick Boseman's too cool to be a nerdy Clark Kent. So for that particular round, Devin gets the point. Well, let's move on to Batfleck, played by Ben Affleck. And, of course, we're going to start with Randy at this particular time. Randy, who is your Batman?
So my Batman is actually Idris Elba.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, that's
Mostly
a good one.
From his performance from the Luther series. And, he's already, been known for being Black Superman, which is why I was like, no, he should be Black Batman, because it's much better to watch him be brooding and dark and throw people around. Because if you've seen Luther, he's basically Black Batman without a cape.
And
he just throws people.
And I love his Cockney accent in that, his deep English lower class accent. I can hardly understand him when you see him in all these other movies where he speaks so well, and then all of a sudden he's talking like this. Yeah, you've got to put the subtitles on.
Yeah, but his 6-episode arc in The Office totally went off without a hitch, and no one seemed to notice that he wasn't from Pennsylvania.
Yeah, he's not from Pennsylvania, but I think that's a great pick because he can pretty much do anything.
Right.
Let's move on to Brian. Brian, who have you decided would be Bruce Wayne / Batman?
So my pick for the Bats was Sam Worthington, Avatar. He's pretty much in every kind of like soldier, warrior type movie. He also, if he's not a soldier or fighting, he's always just suffering or some type of like PTSD type character.
Yeah,
and I feel like that is Batman, he's got a good jawline, so it fit good under the cowl, and I feel like he just looks serious enough to play the Bat.
Yeah, he does play a lot of generic white dudes, though. I'm not a big fan of Sam, but I could easily see as long as that chin sticks out properly. You're right. That's all that matters. Is the chin. It's all in the chin.
Right there. That's all it is.
That's all it is. Devin, who you got?
Well, I am not going to go with 1990s Brendan Fraser for Bruce Wayne and Batman. I'm going to go with the current version of Brendan Fraser for Bruce Wayne and Batman. Not only because we know that he can give a wonderful performance on the vocal aspect of it, but also if you happen to catch him in Trust, which was a miniseries he did in 2018, it shows that he's got that quiet, seething thing that this the Dark Knight Returns flavor of Bruce Wayne would have, and plus when you see him and more importantly hear him in Doom Patrol, you get that same kind of manic range in it. I think Brendan would be a really killer choice if we were going to cast everybody aside and redo this thing.
Yeah, and also he was in Gods and Monsters, and he's done some serious work, so he can play the serious things. I think most of us still have him stuck in that happy-go-lucky ways, but I think he could probably pull it off at his prime.
Encino Man was 30 years ago. We can move past that, I think.
It's hard to move past Encino Man.
What about Looney Tunes?
What about George of the Jungle?
Oh yes, he should have won a BAFTA for that. So for Batman, Randy had Idris Elba, Brian had Sam Worthington, and Brendan Fraser returns. This is the first time we've had. It's only their second show though, but this is the first time we've had two people pick the same person for different roles. I can tell you right now, Brian, you're not going to get it for Sam Worthington because I can find you 9 dudes at a bar that are just as good as Sam Worthington.
Right?
Wow.
What about Armie Hammer?
Actually,
I damn near went with Armie Hammer. I am not even joking on that.
Armie Hammer. I had Armie Hammer as my Superman.
I just feel attacked right now.
So you should feel attacked. You picked Sam Worthington.
Dudes might as well just pick the most random of white dudes.
Yeah, that's right. But I have to say, as soon as I saw this cross my email and I saw this come up, Idris Elba would be a fantastic Batman, and
Yeah.
I don't think anyone would disagree about that. So now we move on to Brian. Hold on, Brian. We don't need to see you
scared.
yet.
Oh, there.
I'm just a little sad Brendan Fraser lost again, okay?
So now we get to lovely Amy Adams, who played Lois Lane. And I like this Lois Lane because this Lois Lane is not just a helpless Margot Kidder who was great, but a lot of times she was screaming and falling. This one is a little more active, proactive. Here she's looking longingly at a dead Superman, so she's not really doing too much proactive. Bri, who do you have playing Lois Lane?
So I went with a younger Susan Sarandon. She's probably been one of my favorite actresses growing up. I loved a lot of movies that she's in because my mom loved her. She just has these eyes that make you want to protect her. So I could, like, if you were a Superman, you'd want to protect her. I think she has the smart look to be a reporter. And I mean, she's played roles where, you know, she's a go-getter. So I feel like she would fit the Lois Lane. If we were to do this movie when she was younger, I feel like she would have been perfect for it.
Oh, absolutely. I also want to say that she's been Thelma and Louise and Speed Racer. We're past episodes of Matinee Heroes, so if you want to hear who we recast for Thelma and Louise and during Speed Racer, you can go back to matineeheroes.com and crack open the archives and listen to them. But Susan Sarandon, a fantastic pick. So that moves on to Devin. Devin, who do you have?
Bring me the amazing, wonderful, fantastic talent that is Mary Elizabeth Winstead. She is ridiculously good in every single thing she has done. There's not a throwaway on her CV whatsoever.
Birds of Prey.
I like Birds of Prey, and I like her in Birds of Prey.
I thought she brought the thunder as much as she could in a very limited bit of screen time. Not showing on this card, Scott Pilgrim versus the World,
Right.
which she completely slayed in. Love that woman. Love everything she has done. And I will always try.
Death Proof. She did like Jack F. shit in Death Proof.
Exactly.
You know how hard it is to play a cheerleader as an actress? Let
You
alone
made a
an
cheerleader who
actress
sits in a
playing
chair for at
playing an
least
actress?
20 minutes and does nothing.
So she's a podcaster. Is that what you're saying?
Basically.
Yeah. Oh, that's not hard to. That's not. Hey, I will give her some
I'm sorry.
podcast.
No, I didn't mean to I don't mean to shit on it. I'm just like
No, it's fine.
Proof.
Hey, I was here rooting for Chad and for Idris for yours, so you
Yeah,
shut the hell up, sir.
Yeah. This has not turned out well for
I
you.
would totally like watch that movie though. I was like, yeah,
Yeah, you would.
for the same reasons I picked my character.
Damn right.
So Brian, who do you have for? Oh no, it's not Brian. It's Randy.
My
I
turn.
will tell you.
It's Randy. No. So, hey, it's Sam Worthington.
And
I
I
know.
need Susan Sarandon.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. So
I gotta push a lot of buttons. Leave me alone. Go ahead.
I'm gonna let you catch up.
Go ahead, Randy.
But
So
Ooh,
I'm okay.
buttons.
I'm good with that. I'm good with that Mary Winston pick. But it's so for mine, I went with Natalie Emmanuel.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
So because we were told we weren't needed to watch the movie, but I did, and I even remembered this as I was picking my picks. It was like Lois Lane spends about a third of her screen time underwater in this movie. Who do I want to see soaking wet? I'm gonna pick her.
Okay. Look, I know you. I know when you guessed it on Nerdy Bitches, you made that one creepy. You don't need to come onto my show and make this one creepy too.
I'm just saying.
Because now,
Randy, I applaud your
I didn't
creepiness
write
on this,
this
sir.
movie.
No.
Well played.
I didn't write this movie. I didn't even shoot this movie. I'm just saying, if I'm gonna,
I think she's a
relive the
fantastic
same
pick.
actions.
I think she's a
Lois
fantastic
Lane
pick.
bathtub, Lois Lane raindrops, Lois Lane in underwater pool, Lois Lane getting shot at in the desert. That's the only time she's dry. I'm gonna go with somebody.
All right. Oh, I can't
Sounds like a
disagree.
personal choice to me.
She is a fantastic. But let's review. We've got Susan Sarandon for Brian, Mary Elizabeth Winstead for Devin, and Natalie Emmanuel, who is lovely, dry or wet. I don't really like to say that, but I gotta make sure.
She is.
But
It's not like you said moist.
but I had to go with a young Susan Sarandon. That is absolutely perfect for that role.
Huzzah!
And
That's
she is.
fair.
Finally.
So we have a three-way tie between you guys. So
Didn't know it was that kind of a party.
let's move on to my...
Who's getting wet?
Jeez. My least...
This
Who's your second least?
Who's my second least? Maybe Kevin Spacey. Yeah, I didn't like Kevin Spacey that much. But, Devin, you lead it off. And who do you have for your Lex Luthor?
I do want to get your take before I give my pick on the John Cryer version of Lex Luthor from the CW verse.
He's actually pretty good.
I like him. Surprisingly so. I didn't think he'd be able to pull it off. Does a good job.
Yeah.
All right. I went older than Eisenberg, obviously, because I think part of the problem is you don't buy his menace when he's that much of a sniveling kid. And I mean, it's no knock on Jesse, but I have not seen this actor in a nemesis or a bad guy role, and I think he is massively underrated. Give me Nick Offerman, the man's man, the Renaissance man of the world, the best beard on TV or movies, obviously phenomenal in Parks and Rec, the founder.
I love him and Amy on Making It. Him and Amy on Making It are so fun. It's like the Great British Bake Off that they really stole verbatim, but it's for crafting. But yeah, and right away, he is known for being a real man, and that's what he is. Everything about him reeks of Musk, of man Musk. You know that he is who he says he is, and you know that is an inspired casting choice. I don't know if it would work, but I can't say no to Nick Offerman, right?
By the way, it opens up the opportunity to cast Megan Mullally as stunt casting for Miss Tessmacher.
Oh, she'd be perfect.
1-2 punch that just absolutely drives it home.
She'd be perfect for Mrs. Tessmacher. Yes, absolutely.
Or Mercy.
I just want her to be Tammy too, and just like shows up at his office.
So, Randy, we'll move on to you. Who is your Lex Luthor?
That was a good pick. I like that one, actually. So with mine, I actually did go the same age as Jesse Eisenberg, and I went with Donald Glover.
Ooh, nice.
Yes.
Mostly because I've been watching all of Community, and once he leaves, the show just like drops. But he is a great actor, and he is a great kind of like he has range. And if you've seen Spider-Man Homecoming with him in it, you know he can do snarky and he can do sarcastic like just subdued is what I'm looking for. I want the same dialogue, just not as wacky as Jesse did it. That's fine. Everything you said was fine, but I want you to be subdued in your snarkiness.
Yeah, he was fantastic as Lando Calrissian too. So he can he can tone it down and be real cool and play a character. But yeah, he's like, as we said in the slide, he is absolutely super talented as not only an actor but a creator, as a musician, as the Childish Gambino. There's probably nothing he can't do, which is scary to a lot of people. So he's fantastic. Good pick. Well, let's move on to Brian. Who do you got, Brian?
Yeah, no, those are all great picks. I decided to go with Ross Marquand, of course, from The Walking Dead. He's also known to come back to play Red Skull for the Avengers. And you just put it all there, so whatever. No,
I love him. I love his impressions. He's an amazing impressionist.
He does such great impressions. I think he could really take what Eisenberg tried to do with Lex and give it a better look. I think that's the problem. Like, you look at that Lex in Batman v Superman, and it looks like a comedy act the whole time, and it's not believable to me. I feel like Ross could give it some grounding, give it some believableness, and just really push that character a lot further, and still be manic in that way.
Oh, absolutely. And Devin, have you had a chance to meet Ross in your exploits?
I have not, and he's always. I mean, I've never done a show where he's been a guest, and I would love an opportunity to go toe to toe with him for 15 minutes. That'd be wonderful.
I have not moderated with him, but I have met him on several occasions. Absolutely the sweetest guy you'll ever meet. So let's review. Nick Offerman, an amazing pick. Just because we'd never see him in something like that, it's another inspired casting. Good job on that one. Donald Glover. I don't think age was the problem. I think it was Jesse Eisenberg trying to do Woody Allen, which was the problem.
Yep.
And so having Donald Glover be a badass Lex Luthor, easily see this. And Ross Marquand, who is immensely talented, and I think of all of them, this is the hardest one I have to choose from. Because if I was going to do a number system, the winner is going to win by like 0.01, because it is really close between all three of them. But you know, I got to give my man Ross some help out, because he is underutilized and overly talented, and he is going to hit it big at some point, because he's just amazing.
2 in a row.
Yeah, settle down. All right.
Not over yet.
Yeah. Then we get over to Diane Lane, who played Martha Kent, basically the main character of this movie, as we find out. Without her, there is no movie. And so Devin, who do we got? Who's next? Who's first? See, I completely forgot. Oh, I know who it is. Randy goes first. Randy,
Oh, cool.
Who is your Martha Kent?
So I went with Alfie Woodward. I think I said that right.
Hold on. Well, let me slow that one down, because you said both their names wrong.
Totally was. Okay.
It's Alfrey, not Alfie. Alfrey Woodard.
Alfie Woodard.
She
wasn't that far off.
and she is known for being consistently awesome. So I mean, she's great in everything. She has been in the MCU. She's been in a lot of stuff. I could see her playing. Who's the lady in charge of the secret strike force that Angela Bassett plays for? Is it Adam in the DC universe? Walker. What's her name? Come on, Devin. Help
Amanda
me.
Waller.
Amanda Waller. There you go.
Yeah,
Devin's too busy drinking on camera.
What is he rambling?
It's that kind of a day.
It's sad that Brian didn't pick up
We should
on
all
it
be
quick.
drunk right now.
Yeah.
I'm
So
trying to prepare myself.
Yeah, there it is.
Explain to me why she'd make a good Ma Kent.
Well, like you said, I mean, I wanted Martha Kent in the movie seemed to be the guiding force, but she always seemed to have the more sinister type of like way of dealing with it. You don't have to be their savior. You don't have to be their anything. You don't have to save anyone. And I always felt that was wrong, and I need someone who can convey that, but not be so much like giving it away. Not so much as like I'm definitely the bad guy in this situation, but so then I remember that same performance in Civil War where it's like my son died because of you and your people, and she's technically right.
No,
but
she's
also
100%.
technically wrong, because the world was saved and your son was sacrificed. It's not something we like, but it's something that happened. And
Absolutely.
I was thinking about that, and I was like, okay, so they can both have that same type of energy where it's like, oh, I'm not entirely sure if I should point this giant missile of power towards humanity, but I think I might just because. And it's like, I don't.
No. I can see
Diane
that.
Lane did a good job of that, so I was like, okay, I'll let this one go.
Absolutely. That's a good pick. Brian, who have you decided on?
I landed on, for my Martha, actually, because I was searching for Lois, and when I landed on Susan Sarandon, I landed on Thelma and Louise, and Gina Davis is who I picked. And she reminded me so much of my favorite movie growing up, A League of Their Own, which I feel like would be a great Martha Kent type character, having Dottie like grow up. She's worked on a farm. She's tough. She just has that feel to me of someone who could have raised Superman and been tough but loving, and someone that he could have really cared about. Where if someone yelled, or if he yelled the name and then someone else yelled the name, they would just all be like, Martha!
Well, she would be absolutely perfect for it too. And I put that she's being tall. That's really discredits just what she's so much more than that. But
She's such a great actor. I mean, yes, she's tall, but
yeah, but she's also she's almost an Olympian, almost quite. So
she could have been Wonder Woman.
So I will move over to Devin. Devin, who did you pick? Yes, we got the Martha thing. It is better looking than you, but yes. I want to say though.
Say that name.
I want to move.
Why did you say that name?
Before we make your pick, I do want to say your hair has lost its pink.
Well, I mean, I didn't bleach it first, so I just did it as a conditioner. So
yeah, my wife's doing the same conditioner. So you and my wife share some hair tips.
But yeah, but she's blonde anyway, though, so
Yeah.
she's gonna, it'll hold better on her hair.
Yeah,
than it
and
did
she's
on
sexy.
mine.
So,
Yeah.
so Devin, who did you pick to be Ma Kent?
Welcome back to Hair Talk.
Yeah.
I don't know how many of you had a chance to see the CBS All Access series Star Trek Picard. I saw it. I dug bits and bobs of it. There are some bits at the end that I had a problem with, but every scene where Orla Brady was a part of, and she plays one of the Tal Shiar, the former Tal Shiar folks who winds up working with Picard. You see her in the first 3 episodes of the series. She has this really solid quality of quiet confidence and strength, and she's absolutely gorgeous. You look at her and you think, okay, yeah, fine, she could pass for Clark Kent's mother, even though it's an adopted thing, and you have to think that at some point you start to look like the kids you adopt, just like you start looking like the pets you adopt. So
If that's true, I adopted some kind of platypus. But go ahead.
there you go. I love Orla Brady. I want to see her do more work here, and I think that casting her allows for more of a focus on your primary 4 actors. And I love Diane Lane. I think she's great, but the entire time I'm just there going, I really want my Streets of Fire remake, or the sequel. So it was distracting for me. It's a personal problem. It's a first world problem. And I want to throw my point over to Alfre Woodard. So there.
Yeah. Well, we'll see if that happens because we got Alfre Woodard as a recap, Gina Davis, and Orla Brady. But I had to go with our Gallifrey 1 ties, buddy. Orla Brady would be fantastic as a Ma Kent. She is an amazing actress. She can play 60, she can play 35. She's got one of those looks where all you have to do is, she's like Diane Lane. All you have to do is kind of spray paint white into her hair. She's automatically older. Or you make it darker, she looks younger without having to do too much makeup. So she's very versatile and very talented. And when I saw that name, like with Idris Elba, immediately just went, that's the right one. That's the absolutely right one. So we've got Devin tied with Brian with 2, Randy with 1, and we've got 2 categories left. So Randy, you still could come back and usurp them.
Let's hope so.
So let's move on to designated indentured servant. I don't know how is he like the only white slave in the DC universe? I don't know why he is like this, but he's been with the family for decades and decades and decades. Let's start with Brian. Brian, who do you have as Alfred Pennyworth, played by Jeremy Irons?
So I went with Alan Rickman. I love Alan Rickman and everything that he's done. I think he has the best level of snark. I think he would because Batman is such a serious character, you get your comedy from Alfred in their interactions. And seeing Alan Rickman as Snape, as the robot in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, just someone who's just tired of putting up with Batman's crap for so long, but still does it because he loves him. And so I just felt like Alan Rickman really fit that role.
Absolutely, and one of my favorite episodes we did on the podcast was Galaxy Quest, where he was amazing basically playing an actor who is just sick of having to put on that big skull cap all the time. He's a Shakespearean actor who is stuck playing this stupid sitcom thingy. So he was great in that. So I totally understand. That was fantastic. So let's move on to Devin. Devin, who is your Alfred?
Once again, X-Men does not count as part of the MCU because mutants and Fox and Bears, oh my. I went with Sir Ian McKellen. You don't have to worry about action. All you have to worry about is understanding that he has a love for Bruce Wayne and he has a passion for justice from his SAS days. I really think that Ian McKellen could bring a gravitas to the role. And I'm talking about Ian McKellen era Gods and Monsters Ian. I think that he would have been the perfect Alfred Pennyworth for any era of Batman from Adam West all the way through to Nicholas Hoult. So bring me the head of Ian McKellen.
See what you did there.
And I think he's the only person in Cats who didn't need to be digitally added his butthole. I think his was out to be seen anyways.
So glad I didn't see that movie.
Because that's
You
what
showed
kind
up for the movie, and they're like, "How did you get a costume already?" He's like, "What are you talking about?"
Exactly. We're going to have to digitize everyone's
I'm
butthole.
wearing this anyway.
No.
Bored at home.
So,
You shall not miss my tuna.
well, I was thinking he was talking about a bowel movement. This too shall pass. Okay,
Fly, you fools!
So Randy, who do you have playing Alfred?
So I went with Joseph Marcel.
Oh yeah. You know what? I forgot to change the name on this, but yes, it is Joseph Marcel because Bradley James was from the old one. This is what happens when you use templates. Joseph Marcel, yes, he is Jeffrey the butler from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And Joseph Marcel, I apologize for getting your name wrong because that's the only credit I could find of yours. So
He's so upset right now.
Only
His
credit.
comments
And what was really sad was like I was trying to find a list of older British actors, and yeah, once you get to past like 45, they just start either dying quickly or just don't exist.
well, let's take a look at our Alfreds. And Alan Rickman, strong pick with Alan Rickman. Ian McKellen, strong pick with Ian McKellen. There's Joseph Marcel's real name. Strong pick because he's only ever played a butler as far as I can tell. But I apologize. I had to go with Alan Rickman. I mean,
Yes,
you got those. And with only one category left, you have taken a commanding lead, Ryan. Devin is going to have to win the next one to get this done. We'll see if he has it for the one and only Diane Prince, Wonder Woman, Gal Gadot, who this was a little sneak peek. This came out before the movie, right? The Wonder Woman. So this is like we saw a sneak peek of her in action, where we started to get like this is going to be awesome, and she was. So we will start with Devin. Devin, this is going to have to be a strong pick from you. Who do you have playing an Amazon?
I went with someone whom we have seen as an amazingly strong female character, somebody who has the disdain for the male world, for the world at war, for someone who can take punches and give them. I want to see her dye her hair from blonde to brunette. I want Katie Sackhoff in this role. I love this woman so much. She can do no wrong in my eyes. She's incredibly great to work with. She's worked with effects stuff with all of her stuff from Galactica and from the third Riddick movie. We know she can hold her own with pretty much anybody from Vin Diesel all the way through. Give me Katie Sackhoff for Diana Prince.
That's a strong showing. We'll see how good or bad the other picks are, because that one could win it, or at least tie it for you, which would be a first. We've not had a tie yet. So Randy, who do you have?
So I went with Christine Adams. I chose her because of her performance in Black Lightning, her performance in Batman Begins, and her performance in Doctor Who, and also in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. She's been a geek icon for a while, and yes, also known for actually playing goddesses and cheekbones.
That was just more my personal opinion.
Yeah.
She's every time I've seen her, even when she was in that awful Terra Nova show on Fox, every time she shows up, she's amazing. She's strikingly beautiful, but yet she is also very capable as an actress. So she's not just a pretty face. So, you know, I'm gonna Randy. I said that's a strong showing.
Let's see what happens.
Let's see what happens. Brian, you can with this pick, you can send Devin out of town as a loser, as someone who couldn't make it. You could take this. This is your chance. So who do you have playing Wonder Woman?
My heart is pounding. Honestly, I'm just happy to not be like, oh, well, this pick doesn't matter because I'm going to lose anyway.
Don't screw it up, man.
Ouch.
I mean, I can't lose. I just might not win, and that's fine with me.
Yeah, no, that's not how to win life. Either you're going to win or go home. What are you going to do?
Look, I'm a very passive person, but for my pick, I went with Odette. I'm sorry if I say her last name wrong. Annabelle.
Annabelle. I want to say Annabelle.
Look at it. I just, anyway.
Strong.
I was a big fan of House, which she was in. I think having to act around a bunch of asshole dudes. Sorry if I can't cuss on the show.
Well, now I have to put explicit on it. Thank you very much. Go ahead.
you get one.
Sorry. It needs to be an OnlyFans video now. But, also, I mean, I think she was even on like a short list to play Wonder Woman.
She was.
A lot of people had picked her to want to play it. I think she has a good look, much like Gal Gadot. It's hard to pick against Gal, honestly. So this was a really hard pick for me. But Odette is no stranger to like DC stuff. She's in the Supergirl show playing Rain currently, and so I feel like she has the ability to play superheroes and has the seriousness from House to fit into this role, to be kind of like a loving character, but also badass.
Absolutely. Strong pick. Our first show, we had someone who could have tied it up and fumbled the ball. I would not say that it was a fumble on anybody's list today. Katie Sackhoff was Devin's choice. Christine Adam as Randy. And Odette Annabelle, who, you know, Brian, you did pick someone who was possibly going to be Wonder Woman. But I think you could tell by the way I was gushing, Christine Adam wins that one, and that gives Brian a solid win as Randy and Devin tie with 2 apiece. So
hang on. Seriously. Wait a second. Hang on. I have one more card to play out of my deck.
Sorry. I know what you're going for. That's the official end of the show. So you go ahead, Devin. There you go. Let him shine.
Oh.
You got it. What are you going to try to do to win this one and take this away from Brian?
When you gave us the list of characters,
I can't hear you. I'm a winner. Winners can't hear.
Obviously.
Winners can't see that they're not on screen either. So.
He's off the rails. He's off the rails.
So
Devin, I thought he was going to dump Gatorade on himself. I was really looking forward to that.
So go ahead and what were you? Let's finish this up because
when you gave us the list of characters to recast, you did not give us Perry White, who is an integral part, albeit brief, of Batman vs Superman: Brahm of Justice. The one thing that I want to see in our version of Batman vs Superman is Tom Cruise as Les Grossman playing Perry White.
I saw that. That was just for me and you. I can't. I can give you extra credit, but not official. It was not in there. Next time, I can't believe it. But let's go to today's winner, Brian. There, he's got the little curl going. So, Brian, as winner, what we do on the podcast is a thing called Final Thoughts. You can talk anything about today. What is your final thought for us today?
You know, I had a blast. My final thought on this is just, I'm so glad we were able to get together, have a lot of fun. Of course, it's easier to say that when you win, and this is going to go down in the history books as one of the best cast-offs ever.
Well, we'll see if it actually came out, because it may have been the only cast-off ever. But on behalf of Devin Pike from UniversalRemote.tv, we got Randy Savage from Cult 45.
Yay!
See, you're happy with that? Yeah, and today's winner, I get the wrong way. Today's winner, Brian Bryfry. Whoa! Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. And hopefully everything works out, and we'll see you again soon.
Be safe, everybody.